The finest thing you can do for yourself is to make investments in yourself. Anything that helps you develop your existing skills. They can rack up enormous deficits, which can result in a significant decline in the dollar's value. A whole host of other outcomes are also possible. But if you've got skill yourself and you know how to make the most out of it, you've got a fantastic asset on your hands. And this does not imply that everybody ought to go to college. Instead, it suggests that whatever way you can discover to improve should be pursued. Competencies in communication are of utmost significance. Students are encouraged to look for jobs they would be interested in even if they don't need the money, as this is the advice that Warren Buffett gives learners. Don't go through life mindlessly, but don't pretend everything will be peachy either. You want to do what you love but can't give up on finding your dream job. You are going to make missteps in life. It is impossible to make decisions regarding investments without making some errors. The errors that are the most serious are the ones that are never discovered. It is more accurate to call them errors of commission than omission. It is the things you could do but didn't do even though you know how to do them. There have been other investments in which he did not know enough to make a choice, and these investments include, for one reason or another, he either didn't do it at all, or he did it on a very modest size. Moreover, he did not accomplish it on a large scale, because you know that not everything is going to be a triumph. The success you experience in life might be seen as trials to some extent. In addition, he was never one to dwell excessively on his errors. Warren Buffett is familiar with many people who obsess over them, but in his experience, it is never justified. You just look forward to the next thing and go on to the next day because tomorrow is another day. Because of the nature of his work, it is necessary for him to think completely on his own. Because if he takes a poll, he will, in fact, do what everybody else is doing. And he typically does not place a lot of stock in that kind of thing when it comes to investments. Therefore, it is necessary for him to be in an atmosphere that encourages independent thought. He has a wonderful business partner who goes by the name of Charlie Munger. You won't find anyone more intelligent than them, nor will you find anything of higher quality. Charlie Munger is aware of how Warren Buffett thinks, and Warren Buffett is aware of how Charlie Munger thinks. Warren Buffett gained a great deal of knowledge from Charlie Munger. He had seen far too many, particularly in the realm of investments, where judgments tend to become more standardized with the presence of more and larger organizations involved in their formulation. Why do intelligent individuals do things that get in the way of them achieving the results to which they are entitled? Everyone in this room can do anything Warren Buffett has done and even more. And some of you will, while some of you will choose not to. Those that choose not to will do so because they see that you are successful in achieving your goals. You won't be able to achieve it because the world won't let you. It will be due to the fact that you do not permit yourself to. You should try to surround yourself with people who are examples of the type of person you aspire to be. You are going to proceed in that direction. In that regard, your spouse is the most important person in my bar to pay attention to. As you travel through life, the friends you have will have a significant impact on who you become. You should try to create some good friends and do your best to keep in touch with them throughout your life. But you should also surround yourself with individuals who inspire you. Coca-Cola is a firm that, on a daily basis, is responsible for the sale of around 1.1 billion servings of its product that are each 8 ounces in size. To comprehend the economic characteristics of a company is not the same thing as being able to accurately anticipate the success of an industry. Establishing your expertise areas is the most significant step in the investment process. It doesn't matter how big your sphere of influence is, it is not necessary for you to be knowledgeable about everything. However, both vitally crucial is recognizing the boundary between what you already know and what you don't know and maintaining a position within that boundary. In his autobiography, Tom Watson, a senior instrumental in the founding of IBM, is quoted as saying, "I'm no genius, but I'm smart in spots, and I stay around those locations." That is the essential point. Therefore, you will be successful if you have some knowledge and continue competing in that arena. Now, there are some stories that he is unable to write. For example, if you ask him to write a story on the value of a glamorous but money-losing firm, He would tell you that he cannot write such a story because he does not know how to write it. He has been painting for the past half century and he is allowed to paint whatever he wants to paint. In addition, he could participate alongside the individuals with whom he placed the utmost confidence. You can consider yourself successful in life if, when you reach the age of 65 or 70, the people you want to love you genuinely do love you. But I've never met a person who, despite having a large number of people who love them, was anything other than the content with their life. He was aware of a large number of wealthy people whose families had suffered as a result of their financial situation. To put it simply, the youngsters had negative feelings about them. However, he can honestly say that he has never encountered anyone who felt that their life was a complete waste, regardless of their financial situation. He hopes that most of you already know this. The whole story is really interesting because if you take John Merriweather and Eric Rosenfeld, Larry Hillenbrand, Greg Hawkins, and Victor Agony, the two Nobel Prize winners Martin Scholes, if you take all 16 of them, they probably have the same average IQ as any 16 people working together in one business in the country, including at Microsoft. So there are a lot of very smart people in that room. Add to the fact that these 16 people had a lot of experience in the field in which they worked. This wasn't a group of guys who made their money selling men's clothes, and then all of a sudden went into the securities business or whatever else they did. Altogether, the 16 probably had 350 or 400 years of experience doing exactly what they were doing. The third thing is that most of them had almost all of their very large net worths invested in the business. So they were betting their own money. They spent hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars of their own money working in a field they know well. And they pretty much went bankrupt. I find that to be very interesting. If Warren Buffett ever writes a book, the title will be "Why Do Smart People Do Stupid Things?" They're not bad people at all, but to make money they didn't have and didn't need. They risked what they did have and did need. And that's foolish. If you miss something important to you or unimportant to you, it just does not make any sense. Warren Buffett said that it doesn't matter to him if your chances of success are 100 to 1 or 1,000 to 1. He doesn't like that kind of game, but people play it for money without giving it much thought. He will tell you that he didn't realize how much the odd person would stand out when he was getting out of school. It's really because of how they act. You can tell what they bring in terms of energy and commitment from how they act, how well they do what they do, how they treat the people they live with. Lots of different things. But he will jump out of your skin a lot more than you might think. One thing you'll want to make sure you do is to get very comfortable with it, whether you like it or not. This could take a while. For example, if you're giving a speech in public, he means that's an asset that will last you 50 or 60 years, but it's a liability if you don't like doing it or feel uncomfortable doing it. It's also a skill you'll need for the next 50 or 60 years, but many of the skills are just things people know how to do. If you can bring out the best in people, that's a rare skill, and it has nothing to do with IQ. It has to do with how you feel about the world and other people. And it is a skill to know what you don't have to show up to other people if you work early and are really aware of it. If all you want to do is help them be the best they can be, this will pay off in a big way. What are your thoughts on what Warren Buffett just said? Please leave your feedback in the comment section down below. We would much appreciate your input on this one.